We have a cow-calf operation where we raise genetics at Trowbridge Farms. We use DNA technology, we're using artificial insemination, we're using in vitro fertilization. So we're taking the best genes and we're having them help us convert to pure meat protein. We have so much technology today. When we're talking about inherited traits, we actually put percentiles on highly heritable traits, medium heritable traits, lower heritable traits. So, you know, it's like reproduction is a lowly heritable trait. So you really have to concentrate on it to make it fly. So you know, when you're talking about reproduction, you want to have your heifer pregnancy rate, how many heifers are pregnant at the end of the breeding season, how fast they got pregnant. Now, if you want to talk about, let's say, marbling in meat, that is a highly heritable trait. So we can make that change rapidly. You know, if we want to make more flavor in our meat, we can add marbling and conversions. And I think that those are things that we've done very successfully. We're in upstate New York. It can get cold here in the winter. So we need to have cattle that can grow some hair to maintain their body temperature. Now, you go south of here and not that far. You get down Virginia and south, they need to have cattle that lose their hair. So we've done research on genetics that will help shed hair. So genomics today is, most of them are looking at 50,000 alleles, which those genomics, you can look at the sheet of EPDs, estimated progeny differences, and tell who's going to gain faster, who's going to grow faster, who's going to be calving easy, who's going to give you the easiest birthing rates, who's going to have the highest marbling, what's going to be the biggest ribeye. There's hundreds of traits that we select through with genomics. Artificial insemination is, we collect semen on the superior males that we know convert well. We know their EPDs, which is estimated progeny differences. We use those for a measuring stick for our ruler. And we collect that, freeze it in liquid nitrogen, and then we'll synchronize our cows and we'll breed them manually. Artificial insemination has been a huge, huge advantage to all of us. As I was saying earlier, we can, you know, now we have sires that will have 30, 40, 50,000 calves a year, where if it was natural service, you know, if they were really precocious, they might do 100. But I think that's a big plus with artificial insemination. And we've come a long ways. I actually started, I did my first artificial insemination project when I was in 5th grade. I took it to the science fair. I actually won the science fair that year, talking about artificial insemination and reproduction. So I'm 64, so this has been around a long time. And every year it gets better. You know, our conception rates go up. We convert cattle to pregnant cows in a much shorter period of time and at a lot higher rate. So artificial insemination was an absolute game changer when we started it, and it is today. You know, we start out impregnating cows. 9 months later, or 283 days later, they'll produce a calf. We actually can synchronize our cows so that we have less labor. We will, instead of calving over 60 or 90 days, we can have a group of cows calve within days of one another, which saves us time and money in the long run. We were on the cutting edge in the mid-70s when we started doing embryo transplant. That has revolutionized the world, because you take a great sire, a great bull, and you take a great cow. We've had those females produce up to 30 or 40 embryos at a time, where they used to have one calf a year. Now those great genetics, we can have 50, 60 in a year out of a particular mating. So that's made a huge difference. And now we've moved into another in IVF or in vitro fertilization, which is pretty neat because we can actually collect oocytes out of pregnant cows, which means we don't take them out of their routine, and we can do those faster. You can actually collect oocytes every other week, or some people do it once a week, and that genetics is what we're looking for. The advantage of using modern technology is, long and short, sustainability. And I really don't like throwing that word around. I think it's thrown around a lot. But sustainability at Trowbridge Farms is we have to make enough money to pay the bills. And the modern technology we have, I mean, used to be you would talk about tweaking things at 50% rate. We're down to where we're tweaking them at 1%. I mean, we know we can look at genomics and genetics and, just turn that screw just a little bit. The pluses way outweigh the downside. The downside to using a lot of the modern technology is, my biggest concern is we've narrowed our genetic base, because we've taken great-grandpa bull that was a super sire for making ribeye and marbling. Now we used his grandson, and he repopulated the world because we can breed 50,000 cows to him. And now the son of the grandpa has made another 50,000. And before you turn around, you realize our genetic diversity is a real issue. And so us as producers, we're very aware of that. So we try not to bring our genetic material to a very narrow base. If you take what we've done over the last, if you just go 50 years and look how we've converted cattle, it's amazing.